Jackie Robinson, the Wright brothers, Copernicus, Abraham Lincoln, Steve Jobs. What does this group have in common? Each one of these individuals had the drive, determination, and right mind that led them down their unique paths. But what really sets them apart is their boundless bravery and ability to inspire others and myself. Not one of them feared expressing themselves, and if so, refused to allow it stand in their way. Most importantly, these individuals inspire us all to make a difference. Today, any point on the planet is accessible through air travel, thanks to the brave innovation of the Wright brothers. We might not have known the world is round unless Copernicus challenged popular belief. Jackie Robinson shattered racial barriers 7 years ago, and today, Black athletes make up more than half of all American sports. Steve Jobs wanted to shake the world, so he created something no one had ever seen before, a new breed of technology that changed the world. While one of the greatest acts of courage Lincoln showed was in changing his mind about slavery and the status of African Americans during his political career. But bravery isn't always at that magnitude. In fact, courage comes in all shapes and sizes. It's in every last one of us. This goes to show how far brave actions can go, and that the world of tomorrow is simply a testament of your courage today. I'm only in middle school. Around this time last year, some of my largest worries were who to invite to my birthday party, or a teacher calling my name incorrectly while taking attendance. But even then, when the decisions I had to make seemed so minor, bravery played its part and contributed to where I am today, and will be in years to come. Literally. In my elementary school in Mississauga, virtually all graduates continued on to the high school down the road called Gonzaga Secondary School. I was certain it too would be my future school. It seemed perfect. The school was just down the road, and I would be with all my best friends from childhood. Some days I would sneak into my brother's room and wear his Gonzaga sweaters proudly, dreaming of the day I'd be just like him, mature, smart, and finally 5'9". I knew I would end up there among thousands of students. My mother, however, had different ideas. Enter Appleby College into the mix, and I had another decision offered to me. No, I couldn't. I would not. Since the first grade, I'd been in the very same system. The same friends, teachers, everything was constant. I was not yet ready to leave the structure, routines, and relationships I'd spent so long building. My parents were very democratic, as they believed that I am entitled to my own opinions and decisions. And while they did respect my choice, they continued trying to convince me to come to Appleby. I saw the move as risky, uncertain. What if I didn't fit in? Would I make new friendships like the ones I had before? I felt secure with what I knew and knew what to expect. Finally, I sat down with my mother to discuss going to Appleby. She told me something that really made me think. She told me that she had confidence in me, that I had the potential to survive, to thrive, and to do great things in any environment. At this point, I knew that for my own growth, I had to take the risk and venture into the unknown, away from my comfort zone. It was quite clear, Appleby had the edge as a school, but the only thing holding me back at that point was myself. I was afraid to take the risk and to embrace this new adventure. On top of my own fear of change, my loyalty and attachment to my former peers had made it hard for me to look in another direction. But I've now learned that the best choices for myself have to be made by myself, with or without the influence of outside voices. I can only imagine how many great ideas or bold actions never reached fruition because of fear of pressure from family, peers, or society. Or how many wrongful deeds could have been stopped by one word or act of courage, but weren't because of fear. Deep within each one of us is a spirit of courage that can truly be a difference maker. So after months of uncertainty, I was preparing for what I thought would be 5 very long years at Appleby College. But today, I stand here looking forward with courage to 5 proud years ahead as a Blue Dog. Although switching schools may not have been my cup of tea, it proved to be one of the best decisions I've ever made. In just a few months, this campus transformed from a school nearly an hour away to a second home where I belong and feel I can spread my wings. I could go on and on about the exceptional friends, faculty, and facilities I've had the honor of being exposed to here. But behind it all was a single seed of bravery. I can quite confidently say that I've grown in these last few months, and I've set myself in the brightest direction I ever could have by setting foot here. This entire experience has taught me the true consequence of courage, that the greatest things in life require a little bit of calculated risk, and the rewards are truly irreplaceable. Sure, attending Gonzaga was the norm, the expected. It's what every kid from my old school did. But the truth is, I'm not every kid. I am myself, and there is only one Maina, and I'm proud of it. No two people are exactly alike. We all have our talents and goals, and we're blessed differently and should therefore not be afraid to be different. I, for one, am not a talented singer by any stretch of the imagination, though this leads me to admire and appreciate the angelic voices of the chapel choir. While out on the soccer field, I'm much more at home. Much more at home. Expressing ourselves in our individuality is key. One of the greatest powers we possess is the ability to inspire. Inspiration is the fuel for evolution. One bold act leads to the next, and the next after that. Our words and actions have an impact on ourselves and the people around us. But it is the deep, thoughtful thing that you might have been afraid to say that can make the biggest impact. If you can gather up the courage to tell someone you thought their presentation was excellent, you can make their entire day. Or choose the kid that usually gets picked last or left out for your team and put aside the pride of winning. But it all starts with the courage to act. Let your voice be heard. 5 months ago, I would never have thought I would be delivering a chapel speech. In fact, 3 weeks ago, I still couldn't picture it, until the impactful words of our middle school prefect, Sarah Gamel, inspired me to be myself and to try new things, and never to fear judgment. As daunting as it may seem, there's really not that much different between writing a chapel speech and any other speech. The most difficult aspect is convincing yourself that you can do it, and building up the bravery to apply. A famous poet by the name of T.S. Eliot once said, "Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go." Now, before I lose you in the deepness of that quote, try to reflect on your past and how courage and courageous people have encouraged you to find out how far you can go. Sometimes we could all use a little push on the swings to get us going. Throughout my life, I've had several individuals encourage me to be the best that I can be. Teachers, coaches, friends, and family help us to explore our potential and reach new heights. Now listen carefully and don't be fooled. Bravery is not an easy excuse for any acts of reckless rebellion or unnecessary risk. In fact, our actions have the ability to influence so much, it is upon us to use them appropriately. I guess you could say, with great power comes great responsibility for all you Spider-Man fans. The possibilities truly are endless. When you have the right ideas and conviction to let your voice be heard, if everyone is looking in one direction, have the courage to look in the other. The bravery of an individual can account for many. So the next time you see someone sitting alone at lunch, invite them to your table. Or a student is getting picked on, say something. Or the next time you have a great idea, raise your hand. If a teammate is fooling around in practice, set an example. Do whatever you feel is right, and never be afraid. Be brave. Now please rise and sing hymn 423.